an explanation before we start. Some of you may have noticed that all the Project Pinky videos have been deleted. That's because on Tuesday at 10 to 6 the good lady decided to dump me by text, really professional. So as far as I'm concerned, she doesn't exist, she never has existed, and she won't exist into the future. As such, I have removed all Pinky content. I have put hammers through everything, got rid of all the photos, but anyway, that's why the content's not there. Today we're in the shed because I have some things to do to Nibbler. I found a mudguard. It's not off a ZX10. It's from, get it right Jim, either the GPZ1000 or the GPX1000RX, whatever came just before this and looks almost exactly like it. But I think, apart from utilising holes up there for mounting as well as there, I think we might just be able to get it to work. Use your big teeth, Jim. You know, with copious amounts of perhaps horse shit, cable ties, extra size bolts, grass fibre, the aluminium welding rods, the tears of angels, and you know, perhaps some Japanese concubine jizz will get it to fit. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Well, I have just done a dry fit. Let me demonstrate the dryness of the fit. Yes, I've got my work light on, and it's so anyway, width wise, cock on. But what I need to do is, as you can see, the brace is what they call a floating brace on the ZX10. It just supports between the forks, stiffens the front up a bit. And a lot of mudguards are sometimes attached to a brace. Well, if you can see with the GP one, we have mounting holes that utilise the brace, and the brace does actually sit perfectly inside. So it does utilise those holes to mount. So what's getting in the way is, if I move you off, is the bottom lugs for the old mudguard mount. And what I've got to do, come on Jim, get your fucking act together, is how they've cut out a hole in the top to basically make way for the luggage at the top. I've got to repeat at the bottom so it just clears those lugs, and then it should be almost there, and then I can utilise obviously the brace as part of the fitting, and with any luck, fingers crossed, the other hole that's drilled in there may just line up with the rear lug. If not, it wouldn't be too difficult to sort out. Or another option, if it's nowhere near, is because that sits in so lovely there, is we've got plenty of meat on this, is to perhaps just put a couple of little pop rivets there, and then it's done. Forget about it. That might be the best way to go, but I've still got to put clearance holes in for the lugs. Yes, lovely. At least it's dry. It's supposed to give rain later. It's supposed to be a nice day tomorrow, and I found a new to me calf at Whedon, and it's the old, I think it's like an old military supply depot or something like that. So very interesting old buildings, and it's got a bit of a themed calf there as well called Industry and Supply, and you know, it's sort of one of those places that's rigged up for hipsters and old Land Roverists and stuff like that, but you know, hey, we're all part of the same crowd, and from all accounts their cake and their coffee is very good indeed. So I think, well, weather permitting, we'll be having a little bimbalette down there tomorrow. Yes. Right, what I've done just roughly for the moment is I've dremeled out some bottom bits, just to see if it'll sit a bit better. Hopefully you can see there. If not, this is going to be another shit video. So the idea was to clear those bottom lugs. better than what it was. It's definitely closer. But to put in spunction, let's take you out of focus. As you can see, there's the lug and the mudguard sitting on it. There's the mounting hole. I think we need to go down just a little touch, probably double the depth of what I've done, just so it's pretty much parallel with the old mounting hole. And I think, by God, jeeps, we'll be about there. Oh, hang on, a little Saturday treat for you. Ooh. Right, folks, on and rock solid. Solid as my cock. Yes, bad song lyrics number XT2494. The only thing I had to look was still a bit short on that little mounty bolt. But it's not bothering me. It's stiff enough there. But I cut a little bit more out the back, so it now sits on the lugs. And I used one of these bodywork washers for the gap, because it was the perfect distance. But that is now nicely clamped up. The only thing I've got to do is disconnect the speedometer cable, yes, and feed it through the old loopage to go back in the old guard of muddage. And then at least, you know, it keeps the brake hoses and shite away from the tyre. So on the whole, yes, I'm very pleased with that. Although I did notice there is a very, very small crack at the front, which I will, well, I'll have to attend to later. Jim, you could have tidied this up. I could have, but it's going to annoy people, so I'm going to leave it there. Anyway, that'll do for today. And then tomorrow, if we go to Weedon, weather permitting, I may just film a little bit of that. Yes.